Hi, and thank you for joining us on the road to recovery. I'm Ronda Jackson, your host, serial entrepreneur, and small business advocate. And today, joining me is the president of the National Association of Minority Contractors of Southern California, Ms. Sharon Coleman. Thank you for being here today, Sharon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? How's everything?
Everything is good. Everything
Okay,
is
everything's good. Well, thank you. Well, thank you for being here today. Today, we wanted to talk about community. And one of the things that I draw from that's important to me as community are the organizations that I belong to. And NAMAC is one of those organizations that's near and dear to my heart. So thank you again. Thank you again.
here.
Do you mind telling us a little bit about NAMAC?
NAMAC is a national organization. It's the National Association of Minority Contractors. We are the Southern California chapter, and our sole purpose is to help build the capacity of our members, our minority contracting members. Our national chapter has been in existence since 1969. This particular chapter has been here since 1995. So we're on our 25th year helping contractors grow the capacity.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I'm one of those contractors. I'm gonna raise my hand. Thank you, NAMAC. But seriously though, the value of membership is kind of where I wanted to start. I know there's a lot of programming that NAMAC does. There are a lot of things that we can participate. You were telling me about some recent programming that you have available.
Yeah, so NAMC, SoCal have went live. We had our first virtual um, meeting, well, training today, and it was about where's the money. We have during this time, because there are so many time sensitive emails on grants and loans, we have increased the number of emails we send out, because a lot of the emails in reference to how people can get loans or grants are time sensitive. So we are working with our members to make sure they get all the information they need. Myself and our consultants that work with us make sure that we are abreast so we can keep our members abreast. So it's been a full community thing to make sure that everybody get the information they need in order to keep going.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do without it. Those postings, and they, let you know that there's information out there. And that was one of the reasons for a platform like this, was to take that and amplify it and make sure that it reaches, larger masses in the community. So thank you. Thank you for those postings. The other thing I wanted to touch on is we talked about the value of membership during crises. Have you, because not only are you the president of the Southern California chapter, but you're also CEO of your own construction firm, Coleman Construction, right? So you can, from your firsthand knowledge, can you talk a little bit about how the current crisis has impacted you and your business?
Well, for me and my business, my office staff has basically went down to part-time. We are working a combination from home and in the office. My guys have to do an additional PPP out. They have to do extra PPP in the field. Of course, they already wore gloves, so now you had to do the addition of the mask. They have to stand 6 feet apart. So we're doing our best to make sure our team stays safe out here on the construction projects that we have. We've also had some projects that pull back and want to wait until this is over. So that means we're working a little bit leaner. But the point is, we're still here for right now.
Yes, this whole situation gives a new meaning to safety first, right?
Yes.
Before, safety first was just make it home by the end of the day. Come to work and leave the same way that you came in. But now, safety is, it's just so global, and you just never know. There's so much out there. So you've changed how you're doing business, Sharon? Would you say you changed how you do business?
Slight change. Safety has always been at the forefront of our construction company, because we want our guys to stay safe.
What about client interaction?
More client interaction. You're reaching out, talking to clients more. You can email people and you get the response back faster because other people are working home. and then we're pivoting in other areas. We're looking at other areas that we need to go out and solicit that we wasn't doing before.
Okay,
in terms
so
of the doors.
let's talk about that for a second, because I promise you, out of 10 videos, at least 8 experts have said, companies in order to survive will have to pivot. So when you're speaking of pivot, you're talking about a new market or
Yeah, new market,
new market. So new client base that
new
you
client base.
now, do you feel that had it not been for this situation, would you have pursued that market?
I probably would, but not this fast.
Okay. All right. So
Not
this
this
is
fast.
boots on the ground, get
On
it.
the ground, right.
Okay. Now your motivation. So this is one thing I did want to ask another business owner. Your motivation for your pivot, aside from revenue, did you look at a market that you could serve with your existing services? Did you create new services? What was your approach?
No, it's same services, just different, just a different area of companies to serve.
Different industry for you.
Different industry.
Okay. And so will you have to do any retooling in order to service that industry?
Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily. We just had not looked at that avenue, that industry prior.
Okay.
We talked about it, but now we have the time and the energy to put forth that actual pivot.
I love that. I mean, don't love the circumstances, don't love what's happening in the world today, but the fact that you saw it as an opportunity is from what I'm hearing, right? Because you talk about that even as a NAMAC president, you talk about how you step up, you participate, you get involved, and that's what you did. So you practice what you preach. I love I love that. So then with them, so we have the new market, you're doing something a little bit different than you did before. You've got the slower pace. Do you think that when things ramp back up, do you think that you'll expand back really quickly, or you'll do that in gradual phases?
That really depends on the owner of the project that we were put on hold for, and it also depends on the GC that we were working for. So we're just in the middle. So we're hoping with our new going and venturing out and doing something different, that might bring something a little bit faster.
Okay. All right. That's good. So if you were to give advice to other subcontractors like myself, to the membership at large, what piece of advice would you give them, for down the road to recovery? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. For everybody to talk about, oh, we have so much time, but for construction, we were still considered a viable entity to keep going. So some of our contractors have the time to look at new markets. Some don't. We're trying to encourage people to basically think about something different. Think of it's time. If you were with the state, did business with the state, go back and look at your NACE codes. You may need to change them.
Mm-hmm.
You may need to add something that you didn't have before that you know how to do now. Look at some of your back office stuff and see how you can enhance yourself in other areas.
I love that. I love that. So now NAICS codes, you're talking about the North America industry classifications.
Correct.
So if you're a painter, there's a code for that. If you're a framer, there's a code for that. Okay. So then we would want to, sounds like you're asking also for us to look at the work that we've done. So our capacity, so kind of what NAMAC helps us build. So
right.
Look at our capacity and then look at the market for opportunities in that capacity.
Right.
Okay. Now, if members are interested or anyone's interested in joining NAMAC, do you mind sharing the website for the organization?
The website is www.namcsc.org. Okay. namcsc.org.
Okay, we'll put it in the description box down below. Last question too. As far as some of the opportunities and the viable things that are happening in the community, does NAMAC have access to those, or do they often share information about projects and work that's available?
We share, NAMAC gets a ton of emails in reference to projects that are coming up. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of community partners. They send us information. The community partners and is what we've been doing these last couple of weeks since we've been down. We have increased emails. I think we probably do emails once a week to send out all the projects, but now since everything is so time sensitive, we probably are sending out emails once or twice a day.
Yeah.
to make sure our members are abreast. We want to make sure there's a lot of firms now that's doing virtual um, pre-bid meetings. Clark had one last week. This week coming up, I think, is Skanska, and someone else has one. But we make sure our members are abreast of, we try and keep, that's the whole thing of building capacity. We got to let them know that there are projects out there that they're eligible to get on.
Okay, all right. So here's some work that's available for you as a member. There's an educational component because they can participate in the different virtual meetings that are happening
Right.
now, the lessons, and then you as a resource with your 25 years experience. I've that's one of the things that I found most valuable and encouraged me to invite you here today. So I really appreciate
Try
it.
and keep everything posted except for the job listings, but anything in reference to our training classes and our other meetings will all be posted on our website.
Okay, all right. Then is there anything else, anything that I forgot to ask about that you think is important in these times for more so for the construction industry, but as a business owner, anything else you want to share?
Here's the thing, there are a lot of organizations that if you want to be a part of, now is the time, because we're all in this together, and you learn more when you're with other people than just by yourself. So you need to get involved somewhere so you can stay abreast and keep your business afloat.
Very nice. Thank you for that. That's beautiful. That's going to help somebody today, Sharon. Thank you for that. I appreciate your time. Thanks for
All
being
right.
here. All
All
right.
righty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.